Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So you may be wondering what is in this gigantic box. That is a great question. So I was having more fun on Shop Goodwill, which is this Goodwill auction website thrift store thing. And I found a hammered dulcimer. And it turns out it's made by a reputable maker, and it looks pretty cool, but it just needs some love, I think. It looks pretty dusty. It looks like it needs some new strings. So I'm gonna open this up and we're gonna see what we can do with it, because I do absolutely love my hammered dulcimer from Songbird Dulcimers. So I'd like to fix this one up and do some comparisons, and yeah, I'm excited about it. Okay, so this box is sort of two boxes Frankenstein together. So I'm going to do my best to get them open and get this out of here. But yeah, it might be a bit of a challenge. Okay, so I've got the top of the box open here, and I think our best bet is just to kind of try and slide it out. So let's give that a go. Now here we have our dulcimer. Get all this off. Oh yes. Oh my goodness. Honestly, this may not even need new strings. It might just need dusting. Oh, this is really, really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to clear all this out, and then I'm going to get to work, because this is gorgeous. Okay, so this is the cleaned up Breezy Ridge hammered dulcimer. Now this is a size 12-11, which means it has a little less range than a 13-14 hammered dulcimer, but it's not a bad size. It's nice and portable, which I appreciate. So one of the really cool things about this particular dulcimer that I want to point out is it's hollow back. So this is such an interesting feature. Most hammered dulcimers, if you're familiar with them, they're built with sort of a box here, and then in the front, this is this is the soundboard, and often there's like soundboard holes. Usually you'll see one here and one here to sort of let the sound resonate out. But this one takes an entirely different approach. Instead, it leaves that back open to sort of give it more sustain and open up that sound so that it can really flow out. So it sounds really cool. Now the hammered dulcimer is a unique instrument, and I'll probably get into that in another video, just because honestly it's not very intuitive to me. It still feels really complicated. Much in the same way guitar can feel complicated to me, because much like a guitar, there are multiple different places where you can play the same note. And that's because these courses, they're called courses because each of these is 2 strings, which is interesting. It gives it sort of the same sound as a 12-string guitar. A little bit warbly, because they can never be perfectly in tune, obviously. And it also gives it more volume, which is nice. So each of these courses is tuned in fifths. So you've got one set of strings right here. You've got one set of strings right here. And then another set of strings over here. Okay, this is usually called the bass bridge because it's a little lower. And this is your treble bridge, because these are a little higher. And it goes in that order, like this is the lowest, next highest, this is the highest side. And it's really interesting because it's supposed to be easier to play intuitively, which for some people I'm sure it is. But I do want to talk more about this hammered dulcimer in particular because I think it's just such a cool instrument. So the neat thing about this is that this soundboard, first of all, it's painted with like this special paint that's supposed to be anti-reflective. A reason that you see mostly dark soundboards, especially black, on hammered dulcimers is so that you can see these courses of strings, because that can be tricky if you're up against a light background. So you can see the strings, and then this special paint makes it so that the strings don't cast shadows, which is really cool. So it makes it less confusing if you're trying to play like on a stage or something, which is very neat. And another thing that I like are these really gorgeous cherry bridges. These are made of cherry wood, and they're just so pretty. I absolutely love it. And these parts over here, the frame is made from maple, and these parts over here are what's called a rock maple. That's the same thing that auto harp pin blocks are made of. This part is called a pin block because of all the tuning pins in it. Just like on harps where you have a lot of tension on a specific part of the wood, if you do that with a soft wood, it's going to end badly. So these are made from rock maple, which is pretty cool. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you some of the gorgeous grain on this wood because I'm thinking about I started that reverb store a little while ago to sort of get rid of some of my excess instruments because I do have a lot. But I find myself so attached to them. It's very difficult to pass them on. I actually bought this with the intention of kind of cleaning it up and selling it because it looked pretty sad when I first saw it. As you saw in the pictures, it needed cleaned up. But now that it's cleaned up, it's so pretty. And I'm honestly a little torn about selling it, but I think I am going to sell it. I'm going to put it up in my reverb store because I already have a bigger hammered dulcimer. And I'm going to do a comparison video on those two as well because I think it's interesting just to hear the different sounds of the different sizes, because what I do love about this hammered dulcimer and makes me want to keep it is it is way more portable than my other one. It's super easy to like lift and carry around. My other one, despite only having I think maybe 5 or 6 more strings added to the bottom, it's quite a bit bigger and it's quite a bit heavier. And that's just like big harps. It's the function of you need longer and longer spaces the lower your strings go. So that it does necessitate a large size at a certain point. So that is the Breezy Ridge hammered dulcimer. The size is a 1211 hammered dulcimer. And if you want to see their website, I'm going to go ahead and put a link down in the description because you can buy these new. They do still make them. So that's really awesome. And again, I am undecided as to whether or not I'm going to put this up, but I will go ahead and put a link to my reverb store down in the description in case you would like to see if this is available, or there's a couple other things in there that you might be interested in, so check that out. If you have any questions, please do feel free to ask me in the comments, because this is such a cool instrument. And if you ask me, I will go research and figure it out. Just because I find that a good motivation to go and ask questions of my own. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day.